If you don't sign this, you go to jail. Okay?
Yeah,
I don't want to take you to jail.
I'm ready to go to jail.
You ready to go to jail?
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Your
How
vehicle
come?
is not like that.
Sit up!
No.
You sit up! Get on the ground!
No. See, sir. No. Call an ambulance. Anh có đánh lại. I need the ambulance.
Yeah, I'm gonna call an ambulance.
You sit up! Get on the ground!
No. See, sir. No.
Yeah, I don't know what these folk got going on, man. It's crazy as hell right here, Oklahoma City. I tell you what, though, if you're ever North Miami Beach, man, do not go to 1,000 Degrees Pizza. It sucks. I'm Trailhand Bill reporting live from South Florida. I'm a little bit late on this story. I'm pretty sure some of you guys have already seen it. I hope there's been some updates since what I read in the print articles. If you're new here, we watch the video, and when that is over, I give my opinion until I'm done. So if you only want to see the video, you are free to leave after that. I probably will remind you again. Let's see what they got going on in Oklahoma, man.
Sit up!
No.
You sit up! Get on the ground!
A rough arrest leading to an investigation and big concerns.
I feel like that's pretty excessive.
That is where we begin at 6. That video sparking outrage and also conversations between officers and a community following the arrest of that 71-year-old man.
His injuries there so bad, he's still in the hospital suffering from a brain bleed. News 4's Adria Goins joins us now with more. Adria.
Yeah, guys, the Oklahoma City Police Department says it is investigating the use of force in a video that you're about to see, and we do want to warn you, it is graphic. They will be turning the video over to the DA's office soon. Members of the Vietnamese community say they've sat down with police chief and asked for policy change.
It all started with a traffic stop.
I'll have to write you a ticket for improper U-turn.
Oklahoma City Police releasing video from October 27th when Lit Vu was pulled over.
She hitting me.
The officer telling Vu to sign for a ticket, but he refused, trying to explain what unfolded along this stretch of road off Northwest 39th Expressway.
If you don't sign this, you go to jail. Okay? I don't want to take you to jail.
I'm ready to go to jail.
You ready to go to jail?
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
After giving another driver involved a ticket, the officer came back to Vu and his wife, standing in a parking lot. Another angle shows the encounter from store surveillance. You can see Vu touching the officer's arm, then exchanging words before being thrown to the ground. This is the view from the officer's body camera.
Sit up!
No.
You sit up! Get on the ground!
I feel like that's pretty excessive for a police officer to think like a old 71-year-old man could actually intentionally hurt him.
Toon Nguyen, president-elect for the Vietnamese American community of Oklahoma, says Vu speaks English, but a language barrier escalated the situation.
You shouldn't argue with the cop and you shouldn't speak back, but in certain cases, I feel like we should be able to be given an opportunity to hear our side of the story before a citation gets issued.
Nguyen says members of the Vietnamese community spoke with Oklahoma City Police and the chief before the video was released. Forewarned, it was significant. There's ongoing talks with the department to possibly add equipment to officers' uniforms so incidents like these don't happen again.
They're going to try to invest in language translation services for the police officer when they're approaching a person that has a language barrier.
And Nguyen says he's still in talks with police about if and when changes could be made. As for Vu, his family told me today he's in and out of consciousness but stable after having surgery for that brain bleed last week. He is also a bone cancer patient.
Never been to Oklahoma in my life. Let me address the most obvious thing here. I'm sorry. Let me go and do this housekeeping. I've been forgetting the last couple of videos. The video itself is over. If that's all you wanted to see, there will be nothing but my opinion going forward. So Yeah, man, let me do some housekeeping. I think now is probably one of the worst times in human history, and obviously I ain't been around that long, but to be famous, because it's like once the more known you are, the more notoriety you get, the more your voice is stripped from you, or people expect for it to be, right? They get to dictate your opinions and your worldview to you. And that is another reason, man, that I am such an introvert and I only communicate online, because I'm going to speak my mind, and being highly respectful and straightforward are priorities for me. Along with not going back and forth with people who never learned the fine art of agreeing to disagree. I don't know, man. I don't really do conspiracy theories, but I'm starting to think, man, these Asian people, and shout out to y'all family. When I say Asian people, don't take it the wrong way with y'all sensitive ass. Shout out to my Asian people. I ain't got no beef with you unless you got some beef with me. That's what I know you as. When I say black, I say black. When I say, you know what I mean? If you've been around, you know. But man, y'all got some type of sway or something, man. I think y'all are, I think on certain levels now, Asians may be being weaponized in some political spirit regard. I don't know, because it's like everything that happens with Asians for the last, well, this year I think, and maybe even going back more, has been blown way out of proportion. And, you know, obviously, if some Asian said that about some things that my people went through, I might feel away, but I'm not super sensitive, so I would invite the conversation to ask them what they mean. But I don't mean like blown way out of proportion, like they don't need the attention that they're getting. I mean blown way out of proportion, like they deserve more attention than any other demographic suffering the same circumstances. You could take black people out of it, the conversation, if you just think I'm talking about us. No, I'm talking about, for whatever reason, whatever's going on with the Asian community seems to be being pushed to the forefront. And I don't do conspiracy theories, but me and my little bubble ass world, that's something I noticed, at least like I say, over the last year or something. So with that being said, let me get another housekeeping point out of the way before I just get to the obvious stuff in the video. Hey, Mr. Vu, please don't be putting your hands on no police officers. Anybody in Mr. Vu's family, anybody in the Asian community, anybody in the American community, please don't be putting your damn hands on no police officers, man. I am sick and tired of reiterating that these people will attempt to kill you if acorns fall. There are videos on the internet of police arresting people for talking. I'm telling you the truth. They killed Philando Castile for driving down the road. They killed him, if I remember correctly, in front of his girl and child. Please do not put your hands on police officers. They will murder you for less. As crazy as this may sound, I promise you, Mr. Vu is very blessed that this is the only thing that happened to him in this video. Because when I read the print article, they were like, there's an angle where you could see him tapping the cop's chest. And I'm like, okay, here we go with this mess. We're getting a report from the cops. They making stuff up. But no, you can see it in the video. So I just want to say that, man. I don't play with cops verbally or otherwise. I definitely ain't putting my hands on them or near them unless it calls for it. I'm going to leave that right there. I do agree with Mr. Wynn's attorney, though. I'm sorry, Mr. Vu's attorney, and I think his name was Wynn or something. I agree with him that, sir, that's what's wrong with American police officers. Like, what in the hell about that situation made you think you had to tackle that man to the ground, slam him to the ground, swing him to the ground? Let me tell y'all something about these videos. A lot of the times in the ones like this, I miss key details, because the very first video that you seen when you turned this on, which was clearly him swinging that man across the ground, it looked like his face scraped the ground just enough to cause a lot of severe damage. Man, I don't be watching no shit like that, man. I'm not one of these gore motherfuckers out here who looking at stuff. I was mad I saw it the first time. I'm mad I'm seeing it in my mind's eye now. And then for the rest of any video you've ever seen me do like that, I will be side watching the videos in case they're about to show anything else like that that I don't want to see. Because clearly when I turned on that damn camera, I didn't know I was about to see that. So back to what his attorney said. Sir, what in the hell is going through your mind to make you think you got to take this man? I was watching the video and I seen when he said, yo, if you don't sign the ticket, you go to jail. That's what the cop said. The man said, okay, I'm ready to go to jail. I don't know how bad the language barrier is, but clearly he said that, and I heard it, and I know y'all are working ears did too. And then the cop said after that something along the lines of ridiculous. Where in the hell did the swing and slam to the ground come in at? I mean, you literally scraped that. Of course you didn't mean to do that, but it goes back to, y'all ain't got that video yet. Valentina, Target. I keep saying Target, but it was actually Bloomingdale, 14-year-old. California. We're going to get back to that. But what they said when they didn't charge that officer for murdering that 14-year-old was he had no way to tell that an innocent bystander could be in the path of his projected bullets, and he had no way to tell where those bullets would go when they came out of his AR-15 style weapon. I think that's a bunch of bullshit, just like I think with this officer right here, even though I'm pretty sure you didn't mean to script. Like, that just happened too perfectly. It was almost like a scripted movie scene. I'm pretty sure that's not what you meant to do. The fact of the matter is, sir, when you engage that man like that and begin to attack him, you couldn't control what the hell happened. It looked like you just simply tried to slam him on the ground, which just hamster wheels and revolves back to the next same conversation. What in the hell are you thinking here? Why didn't you just turn him around and put handcuffs on him? And I know the answer to that question as well as many of us do. President-elect, representative of Vietnamese, Asian Americans. I'm a little concerned, big dog. You said we should not argue back or speak back to the cops. I don't know if it's just because you have a language barrier. Like, I don't know how long you've been in this country. I don't mean to insult you at all. They even said the Vietnamese community went up there and met, with the police officers and the chief. And this gentleman did too. But like, sir, this is America, man. We are like, come on, big dog. You cannot be. But like I said, I don't want to be overly critical because, to be fair, I did in the other recording. I had to cut it off and come back. I even was like, is he an attorney? I had forgot who the hell he was because I was just so confused about some of the things that he was saying. But no, man, first and foremost, with all due respect, sir, like I said, I don't know if it's because you aren't educated on the laws of this land. I would think if you are representing Asian Americans that you are lawfully here. Maybe you just haven't gotten around to the First Amendment yet. I don't know what other constitutional rights you might not have the knowledge of, but we definitely can not only argue, we can speak back. I think it's formally called redressing your government or something, but I'm a little country-ass black dude from Georgia, so I just be like, I'm going to say what the hell on my mind, because I ain't breaking no laws. So I just, it's a little bit of confusion and almost contention there with you saying that. But then again, I get where you're coming from, which is where more of the contention and confusion comes from. Because like I've said in many of my videos, you hear licensed, successful practicing attorneys give that same advice. And it's like, all right, cool. I mean, it to each their own. If you want to take that, you're taking it because you're making a civic choice, but not because you are constrained by somebody else's expectation or any American laws. That just doesn't work like that. You can say what the hell you want to say as long as you're not breaking any laws. So that was the first thing. And then the other part about, not so much the Vietnamese community, but you being a leader among them, you going up there and you're taking these American law enforcement officers' word that they're going to institute policies and stuff, sir, and programs, sir. They don't need any policies. We all have smart devices, and when I say all, I mean the overwhelming majority of us. And I've used the same brand of phone for years. I've been with a lot going on there. Anyway, I just get the upgraded version when I want it, not every time it comes out. But now when they come out, they come with the translators. You don't even have to type it. Like, you could just hold it up to the person talking and it'll translate it. Literally, it's nothing you even got to download on your phone. The phones I get, they come with it. I'm pretty sure in this day and age, most of them do. Worldwide translators, obviously there's some translators and translations. Pretty much sure there's probably some languages not there yet, but the majority of them are. So I'm just highlighting that to say, if this officer had a humane bone in his body and the language barrier was the concern or the problem here, or the divide, he had a smart device near, if not on his very person. He could have pulled it out and immediately conquered that language barrier. I don't think that was the concern here. I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's just a violent cop. But I want to finish with you first, sir. They don't need these things, because once again, if that's something he wanted to utilize in this situation, he could have reached for his smart device. He's a cop. He has one. Once again, if not on his person, very near. I'm confused about why you allowed them to talk you into. It's kind of like they talked you down with that political mumbo jumbo, and that's what they do. And then you came back and I'm pretty sure you said it to your people, but then you got in front of cameras and you said it to the American public too, sir. Once again, I don't know if it's because of your naivety or you just sold out to that police and government shit, fam. And I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm leaning a particular way, and it's not toward being confused about it. I'm leaning because you had way more cops splaining and government splaining in your rhetoric than you did concern for the American people splaining in your rhetoric, man. These your folks, family. I've never been Asian in my damn life. I could not even watch. When I seen what was happening the first time I seen that video, and I just cringed and looked away. I felt it in my bones, boy. That's your people. You went up there and got diplomatic. You went up there and got diplomatic size. Like, that's all they did to you, fam. They what they call it? Hypnotize your ass with diplomacy, man. No folk don't get no damn about that. The man at home on paid vacation, that is your people who fake got straight across the ground. You falling into that same pattern that a lot of Americans fall into. My people have been guilty of it for far too long, too. It upsets me. I don't even want to talk about it too much because I'm going to get passionate. But there are certain things in my mind. What the fuck is we talk? Why are we taking their word for it that they're going to do this and then they're going to add another program? They're going to add more training. Why these motherfuckers ain't already programmed and trained enough to treat people like people and humans like humans? So the cop says to the man, I don't want to take you to jail. It didn't sound like he was pretending. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how the situation escalated so fast, and I'm drawn to only one conclusion. This is who these barbarians are, man. This is who they know. I don't even know if they're capable of being, what do they say? Absolute power corrupts absolutely, or something along those lines. Once they get out there and they know that no matter what, they got backing to go home free. I mean, I ain't even got to work. I would think about it 10, 15 years ago. They shoot somebody, they kill somebody, they beat somebody, they go home with a paid vacation. You know, working in the traditional job market, on most jobs, well, I ain't gonna say most, on a lot of jobs, how long you gotta work to save up like 7 days vacation or something. All these motherfuckers got to do is go out there and terrorize an American, and they gonna get a paid vacation, not just a paid vacation. Y'all creating a cyclone of disaster out here. Y'all don't even get no damn. And now we looking at an Asian man getting his face scrubbed across the ground, and the cop who did it has no good explanation for it. They gonna explain it away. The chief talking about, well, you know, we're investigating, and somebody must have asked his ass, who investigating? And he had to say, well, you know, it's our people. We grading our homework. And they say, what the fuck? And the chief said, why would you be concerned about that? I'm gonna go back to this president-elect, sir. Sound like a question your ass would have asked. Some of us been in America long enough to immediately know the answer for it. I got one more question for y'all. With respect, I ask my people a hard question too. With respect, you, sir, president-elect, Asian American representative, and you know the Vietnamese community. And if I got any Asian listener, man, shout out to y'all. I ain't sensitive. If you see black people doing something, respectfully get on our ass too. I got one more question for y'all. Did this have to happen to Mr. Vu for this to be a concern for you guys? Because it's been happening to Americans for a long ass time. I hope this situation won't garner your voices only for them to fade away into the beauties of our land. I hope you can appreciate the beauties of our land. And I'm pretty sure many of you are born here, so your land as well. When I say our, I'm including you. But I hope you can appreciate the beauty of our land while also having the same concerns for everyday Americans that now you have for Mr. Vu. And I'm pretty sure you want the rest of America to have in this situation too. Like, we got to stop letting this shit happen close to home on our front doorstep before we're concerned about it. These cop roaches every motherfucking well. Ain't got to be your child or nobody else you love, your spouse or nobody else you love, your parent or nobody else you love, for you stand up and say, hey, man, I ain't here to cause no trouble. Damn sure here to make sure your ass ain't causing none to nobody else either. We know all too well Mr. Vu ain't y'all first, second, third, or last Mr. Vu. Y'all might have sold them lies to some Asians in Oklahoma, but I'm hoping there's some Asians in Oklahoma to help them get their mind right. Remind them who the hell y'all are. Definitely no reason to trust you or anything you got to say.
If you don't sign this, you go to jail. Okay?
Yeah,
I don't want to take you to jail.
I'm ready to go to jail.
You ready to go to jail?
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
After giving another driver involved a ticket, the officer came back to Vu and his wife, standing in a parking lot. Another angle shows the encounter from store surveillance. You can see Vu touching the officer's arm, then exchanging words before being thrown to the ground. This is the view from the officer's body camera.
Sit up!
No.
You sit up! Sit on the ground!
I feel like that's pretty excessive for a police officer to think like a old 71-year-old man could actually intentionally hurt him.
Toon Nguyen, president-elect for the Vietnamese American community of Oklahoma, says Vu speaks English, but a language barrier escalated the situation.
You shouldn't argue with the cop and you shouldn't speak back. But in certain cases, I feel like we should be able to be given an opportunity to hear our side of the story before a citation gets issued.
I don't know, family. You talking about your right to speak at a traffic stop and citations, and these folks say this man in the hospital, he may never come home again. Are you having the same conversation as reality, family? And these people elected you to represent them. I hope that isn't a mistake. Thank you if you made it this far. If you liked the video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. If you care to go a little further than that, maybe even subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out a few of the other videos on the channel. Either way, y'all be safe.